I'm going to get some heat for this one, aren't I? I pose a question to all of you watching. Right now, what do Arsenal need? A role model or a winner? Arsenal are on the verge of what could be their best season of all time. But for me, there's something missing. Trust the process. This has been the slogan, mantra, and sometimes excuse for Arsenal and its fans for the past nearly 6 years. I stand by it being amazing, and I stand by Arteta changing all of our lives. But processes often need change, and you find that out along the journey. We've seen personnel change, and Arteta is clearly not afraid of getting rid of the deadwood when it's time. And I think it is just about time for us to have an uncomfortable conversation about our captaincy at Arsenal. Martin Ødegaard has been the pillar of hope and progression ever since he was made captain back in 2022. It is so funny to me to think our previous captains were Lacazette and Aubameyang. We were such a banter club. From memory, one of the reasons Ødegaard seemed like the perfect choice was because he had experience with Norway and was viewed by Arteta and the club as the perfect role model. He represented the value of the club, the team, the teammates and the staff in the best way possible. Arteta said he showed an ambition to take the club to a different level. He said that if you looked for the perfect professional, he wouldn't be very far from that. Many players joked about him being the teacher's pet, always impressing, giving 100% in training sessions, reflecting the club's value and having ambition. In my opinion, the perfect choice. We had players that just didn't want it enough and weren't willing to die for the badge. Fast forward 3 years and I can barely think of one player who I don't truly believe gives everything every game. I think that's why we have so many injuries. They would die for the club. They want to win everything. Ødegaard is a massive reason for that. He was the role model and set the bare minimum expectation for the players. Great. Now what? We still don't have a Premier League title and we still don't have a major trophy since the FA Cup. So I repeat, right now, what do Arsenal need? A role model or a winner? For me, it's the latter. And I think it's Declan Rice. Now, this is not the first time this opinion has been shared. You look on X and you'll see multiple people saying Rice is a born and bred captain, but I don't really see it being taken seriously or being expected by our fan base. Mainly because we are so good right now, improving every season, and Martin is undoubtedly an amazing player and very likable person who's been with us this entire journey with the good and the bad. Tony Adams said back in August, the call is to make Declan Rice the captain. I think Declan is my kind of captain and might free Ødegaard up to play with a bit more freedom. You're not going to win the league with Ødegaard as captain. Now, I do disagree. I think we can and probably will win the league with Martin as captain. But he's been injured and missed a lot of fixtures, and who, in your opinion, has been the true leader when he's been away? Saka has been our captain for most of the games during that time, but I think you'd probably agree that Rice and maybe Gabriel's voices are probably bigger than his on the pitch. Positionally, I actually think it makes way more sense for a player in the middle of the pitch to be captain. That actually does sound dumber the more I say it, but I swear it makes sense. When you're thinking of classic captains, you're normally thinking of midfielders and centre-backs. Your voice and actions naturally just affect more people around you, so Rice and Martin tick that box. But why would Rice be better as captain? I saw some things in our match against Villa that I really didn't like. It's the 91st minute, it looks like Aston Villa are about to break away on a counter. You see here Ian Maatsen carrying the ball, and Ødegaard seemingly just steps out the way without even putting a tackle in. It's the 91st minute, we're desperate for a win, and your captain does nothing. Now that might be unfair, but look at this. Look at Declan Rice's reaction. He can't believe his eyes, he gestures with his arms. He's in disbelief that we've allowed Maatsen to get through here. So what does he do? He takes responsibility and goes in himself, delaying them breaking. And then with the goal itself, you've got many people saying he was just trotting around like a horse, rather than getting stuck in and saving us. We've got players lying on the ground giving everything they've got to try and stop this goal. Declan Rice bundling over people. Meanwhile, our captain is seemingly doing nothing. Maybe he was afraid to give away a penalty or something, but it's the last minute and you're not defending. It's a rare sight. I would never call Ødegaard lady. He is the fundamental pillar of our press. But here, he really let me down. But I tell you who I don't blame. Declan Rice. He gave everything. He understood how important it was to get a result here. I don't think this as a whole means that Martin shouldn't be captain. I more so think it means Rice should be. Ødegaard's getting back to full fitness and he's been unlucky with injury. But even with full fitness, I don't think he's doing that much in this situation. And that opens a bigger question. Is he injury prone? And if that is the case, is that not reason enough for us to want our 100% guaranteed to be playing every single minute of every single match, never getting injured to be captain instead. Injury can happen to anyone, but at this moment, it seems like Rice is indestructible. Who do we miss more if they're not present in the squad? Rice. Who seems to be the louder and bigger presence? Rice. Who has been captain for a club before and led them to a European trophy? Rice. Who seemingly has a higher ceiling and genuinely is in the conversation of being a Ballon d'Or winner? Rice. I do genuinely think Ødegaard could potentially benefit from having a little bit less responsibility so that he can focus on that creative spark, which 100% is his best attribute. I also think he's our most technically gifted player at the whole club. Both players are brilliant in post-match interviews, humble, always taking responsibility, and both echo the club's culture and values perfectly. But think of classic, iconic captains from the past who've taken their teams to glory. Adams, Puyol, Terry, Van Dijk, Gerrard, Roy Keane. I sound like a boomer for this, and I never talk like this. I think Arsenal are a progressive team who is reinventing the wheel. But who out of Martin and Declan is more similar to these names? It's Rice. Do I think this should happen? And if so, when should it happen? If Martin was injured again for a long period of time, I would love Arteta to go ahead and make the change. But if not, it's probably too risky. Ødegaard has done nothing wrong to be stripped of the armband. It potentially sets a precedent of unloyalty at the club. And Ødegaard has earned everyone's respect and has served the club for longer. We do not, under any circumstances, want to disrupt the atmosphere at the Emirates right now. But do I think we'd have a better chance of winning literally everything if Rice was our captain? Yes. For now, I guess we'll just have to settle with him being our leader on the pitch, even if he's not wearing the armband. Please let me know what you think in the comments and be sure to subscribe.